Welcome to the Alpha Girl Confidence Podcast, where we are empowering youth female athletes to play and live confidently. My name is Shay Haddo, and each week I will bring you new episodes to teach you the strategies and tools that you need in order to live a confident, empowered life both on and off the playing field. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the show. Today's episode is 168, The Parent's Guide to Helping Your Kids Through Anxiety. So obviously, as you can tell, today's episode is for parents. So players, girls, if you want to listen, go for it. But it will be really powerful if you get your parents to listen to this episode, or even more powerful is you guys listening to this episode together, especially if you've experienced anxiety either now or have in the past, right? So anxiety has been a very big topic as of late. It's been a big topic in my life, my whole life, but it's been something that's been coming up a lot more with COVID. I know, talking to a lot of girls and a lot of parents, that the anxiety levels have definitely gone through the roof, since COVID, almost 2 years ago. So today's episode is going to be for parents and how you can help your kids, empower them through their anxiety, how you can help to support them through their anxiety. So if you've ever heard my story with anxiety, you know that it started at a really young age for me. It started when I was like 5 years old, and it's been on and off my entire life. Well, when I was a kid, I didn't really have any support system. My parents didn't really know what I was going through because I didn't really know how to express what I was feeling. I didn't even know how to express to myself what I was feeling. So in today's episode, we're going to go through what I call the 3 C's to supporting your kids through anxiety. And as we go through these, again, if you can listen to this with your daughter and kind of have a discussion together, it'll be even more powerful. So the first C in supporting your kids through their anxiety is to comfort them. Comfort. That is the first one. So with this, there's a lot of times when I know I have had these feelings of anxiety, or, these feelings of just sadness, or whatever the feeling or emotion is, and you don't feel like the people around you are comforting you. Well, when your kid is experiencing anxiety, they only want you to comfort them. They want to know that it's okay that they're feeling that way. Because a lot of times we do this to ourselves. We feel anxiety or we feel sadness, and we bring shame to that emotion. And when we bring shame to that emotion, it just makes it worse. So what you can do with your kids is just comfort them. Just love them, just be there for them. You don't need me to tell you how to comfort your kids. But a lot of times with anxiety, parents and people in general, we start to question it, and we invalidate the feelings of anxiety. So before you do anything else, the first thing, and these 3 C's are in order. The first thing is to just comfort them. Let your daughter know that it's okay. Let your daughter know that what she's feeling is valid. Let your daughter know that no matter what, you're there for her, that she can lean on you, right? So that's the first one. We don't need to go too deep into that. It's more of just an awareness, like, okay, when my daughter's feeling anxious, this is the first thing that I need to do. And number 2, and this one is the biggest one, we'll go the most in depth with this one. Number 2 is communication. Communication is huge when it comes to your daughter going through these feelings of anxiety. So for me, like I said at the beginning, I did not know how to communicate what I was feeling. So I would just tell my parents that I don't feel good, that I'm dizzy, this and that. And they started to not really believe that I was not feeling good. They didn't really trust that the way I was feeling was actually true, because they thought I was just trying to get out of school, because I didn't know how to communicate to them. I didn't know how to say, Mom, Dad, this is how I'm feeling, and I need your help. I didn't know how to communicate that. So for the parent, the first thing with communication is to have an open door, to let your daughter know that, hey, anytime you need to talk to me or just talk to somebody, I am here for you. So that's the first thing. And then with communication, the other thing is for parents, for you guys to ask questions. It's such a simple question, but so powerful. And something we don't do very often is ask your daughter, how can I best support you through your anxiety? Because everybody deals with anxiety differently. Some people don't like to talk about it if they're in the middle of it. Some people do like to talk about it. So if you ask your daughter, hey, I know you're feeling anxious. How can I best support you in this? Then it's like you can stop guessing. You can stop guessing what your daughter needs by just asking her that simple question, right? And then the other thing is asking your daughter in this conversation, asking, hey, am I causing your anxiety? Am I making your anxiety worse? Because something that I've learned is when I did an anxiety program a couple months ago, we were talking about the whole parent dynamic. And I asked the girls on the call, I said, hey, how many of you feel like your parents are actually making your anxiety worse? And about 90% of them raised their hand and said, yes, my parent is making my anxiety worse. And the parent's not meaning to do that, but it's just that they've never had a conversation. The girl has never expressed to the parent, hey, this is how you can support me. And the parent has never asked the questions of how can I best support you? So it's really about asking the right questions and asking questions to understand, not to question or critique or invalidate their feelings, but for you to understand what they're going through and for you to understand how you can best support them. And then just wrapping up the communication is, again, it's so important that you don't invalidate their feelings, because as soon as you criticize their feelings or make them feel like their feelings aren't valid, then they're going to close off and they won't talk to you. So it's so important to just be so open and comforting and just be a sounding board for them. Because a lot of times just talking about the anxiety and talking about how they're feeling can be a huge relief. So communication is huge. And I would really encourage you, after listening to this episode, if you're listening to this together, beautiful, go have a conversation after and ask yourselves, ask each other these questions. And if not, like maybe you listen to this together and then you go have the conversation. But I would really, really encourage you to do this. And it was something that my mom and I talked about. We did a live in my Facebook group a couple months ago. And it was something that she brought up a lot, was just like, I didn't know that you were going through it because I didn't know how to communicate it. Therefore, I couldn't support you. So I've seen this firsthand with myself and with my family. And I don't want to see that happen with your family as well. All right. So that's the second C, is communication. The third C is community. The third C is community. So going back to, I was telling you that I had a conversation with my mom all about my anxiety and everything, and how parents can better support their kids. And one of the things that she said that really stood out, because I just re-listened to it again, is she said that one of the biggest regrets she had when it came to, helping me through my anxiety is that she didn't get me help. She didn't get me help because she didn't really know what I was going through, but really it was something that I went through alone. It was something that I went through alone. And also I thought that I was the only person on the face of the earth who was going through that. I thought I was weird. I thought I was crazy. I thought there was something wrong with me because I didn't have a community of other people, right? And now it's like, when I became an adult, I went and got a therapist. I had a community. And now for kids, that's what I do, is provide a community of kids, because it's crazy, believe it or not. But I would say at least 75% of the girls that I talk to and the girls that I work with have had anxiety in their life or are having it and experiencing it now. So having a community, I could say, looking back at my 12-year-old self, if I would have had friends to talk to, if I would have had a therapist to talk to, if I would have had a mentor to talk to about my anxiety, number one, to talk, get my feelings out, but also to hear from other people and hear that this is a normal thing and that it's okay. I think that would have made the biggest difference for me in my life in that moment, and also how my anxiety progressed through my teenage and adult life. So community is absolutely huge. I think it's obviously you're there to support, the parents are there, the family's there, but I also think it's really important to help your daughter find help, find a community outside of the family, whether it's her friends, a support group, a therapist, like a program like mine, the Alpha Girl Collective. I think that's really, really huge. And it doesn't even have to be my program. It can be any program, but something to where your daughter is in a community of people that support her and that where she knows that she is not alone, because that is one of the most powerful things when it comes to anxiety or even confidence and any of that stuff. So those are the 3 C's. Again, let's recap. Number 1 is to just comfort her. Let her know it's okay and love her and support her through that. Number 2 is communication. So when you're done listening to this, I would encourage you within the next few days, please, please, please go have a conversation with your daughter around her anxiety and how you can support her. Number 3 is a community. Don't wait like so many parents do. Don't wait like my parents did. Parents, I love you. I know they meant no harm. They didn't know better at the time, but don't wait to get your daughter help. Don't wait to find her a community. A community is so strong, and it really can make the biggest difference in her mental health and helping her through her anxiety. So I hope this was helpful for you. Again, I mentioned it before, but if you're looking for a community for your daughter to improve her mental health and help her through her anxiety and so much more, her confidence, her mindset, all areas of her life, please reach out to me. I'll put a link below where you can learn more about the Alpha Girl Collective. And with the Alpha Girl Collective, we're talking about confidence a lot, but every single month we have one call completely dedicated to mental health. I call them the mental health chats, where we talk about anxiety. We talk about emotional intelligence and emotional resilience. We talk about all of the things that come up emotionally that, come up as a teenage girl. So if you want to learn more about that and how you can help her to find a community of a mentor and a community of awesome girls that are going through the same thing, and I'll post a link below where you can learn more about the Alpha Girl Collective. But I hope this episode was helpful for you. I wish that there would have been something like this for me when I was going through what I was going through. So please, please, please have the conversation with your daughter, and please share this with someone else that you know would benefit from this, because again, it could totally change the trajectory of your daughter's life and of how she handles her anxiety. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on next week's episode.